Good evening, lovely tubers. My name is the White Mexican, and welcome to Market Watch Investments. I have a plethora of cards that I'll be showcasing for you guys tonight, and I do hope that you will enjoy. Getting things kickstarted tonight is going to be the Ghost Rare variants of Red Eye's Flare Metal Dragon. Now, there are Ultimate Rare variants from the same set, which are really nice, specifically for the first edition copies, but I have to admit the Ghost Rares are completely unparalleled. Starting market price for first edition copies of this card is going to start at a phantom under 60 bones for any condition. Lily Plate variants is going to articulate up to about 117 plus. And let's go ahead and take a look if there's any bulk prices. It doesn't look like there's bulk prices here for 120 for Lily Plate for a stack of 4. And if you guys want near mint copies for English, it's gonna dawn about 155, so pretty incredible on this card. Great burner and just amazing artwork, amazing card in general. Next is gonna be Ancient Fairy Dragon. So still to the day this is on the forbidden list. It is banned, which is very unfortunate and very aesthetically pleasing. Love the artwork. And first edition copies are going to be 130 bones starting market price for damage, which is pretty incredible. The first lightly played variant here is going to be a whopping 400 plus. Artwork pops so well, it's just gorgeous. And then if you want some near variants for near mint, it goes up to almost 700 bones, 650 bones starting market price for near mint. Pretty incredible. Keep in mind, Ghost Rares get scratched up pretty naturally, even like straight out of the pack, so chances of it being truly near mint is near to none, and there isn't any bulk prices available specifically for the first edition variants. There also is an Ultimate Rare variant and a Secret Rare 10 variant, which is really nice. It's very old. Next is going to be Honest. First edition copies of this card is going to start out at 50 bones for damaged Italiano, which is, looks like it's got some kind of like bubble damage here. There's a Deutsch one here for 100, another Deutsch one here looking all sideways. Italiano ones, more European ones. Alright, we'll just go ahead and switch over to Lily Plate near mint to take a peek here. Looks like the first English for Lily Plate is 220 bones. And then near mint is going to be phantom under 400 bones, 394-ish, give or take. Pretty incredible. We'll switch this back on and then we'll see if there's any bulk prices available. A few bulk prices. Lily Plate first edition English is going to be 224 and then 256. 225, 256. So they're also all the original Light Destruction, same core set, Secret Rares first edition, which are really nice as well, and the Duelist Saga Ultras, which look great. Number 92, Heart Earth Dragon is going to be next. Cosmo Blazer, first edition, and Ghost variants of this. I believe there may be an Ultimate variant of this as well, but again, the Ghost Rare is always going to topple over the Ultimates, in my personal opinion. Any variant of this first edition for the Ghost is going to be a starting market price of 50 bones. First Lily Plate English variant is going to be about 61. And let's check some near mints. First near mint, there's going to be about Phantom under 100 bones for 99, which is a 2 set. And we'll go ahead and take a look at bulk prices for these. There's a single 5-stack from Card Crack for 123 for near mint first edition, so not too bad. I really love this card's artwork, and the effect is pretty substantial. A lot of people don't really talk about that card anymore. I think it's great. Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon is be next. So Galaxies are pretty cool. They've gotten new support here and there. They're a relatively fun deck to pilot, in my personal opinion. This is more for collectors. This card is kind of a little washed as far as meta play, but it has great substantial value as far as collectabilities, and the aesthetics and the artwork is just phenomenal. Starting market price for these Ghost variants first edition is going to be 66 bones. And then if you want some lightly played or near mint action, we'll switch over to these. So apparently this one's near mint, so I'll let you guys be the judge of that. Lightly played is going to be about 137 bones, which is a stack of 3, fortunately. You don't see that very often. One of the more affordable price points is the bulk prices, which is pretty cool. Another stack of 4 here for lightly played first edition for about 150. We'll just switch over to bulk prices specifically. So this is going to be kind of a snapshot of what the bulk prices are available. One single near mint for 210, and the rest of them are ranging from lightly played. I do believe there is an ultimate rare of this, which does look really, really nice, but again, the ghost rares are just aesthetically gonna topple like over everything. Number 17 Leviathan Dragon is going to be next. So depending on how much the ultimate rares, there's definitely an ultimate rare for this as well for first edition, more so like near mint first editions. Being that they are ultimate rares, you can actually find them in near mint because they don't have the scratches that the ghost rares usually have. If those are like insanely cheap, they're probably not because they're insanely old. But I mean, if somehow you could find them for like 10-8 range for first edition near mints, it's not very likely, but I think that is a great steal deal. But nothing is going to compare to the ghost rare. I personally have a couple copies of this ghost first edition as well, and this is just a legacy card. I mean, Generation 4's Dawn XYZs for us here in the TCG, and there's just amazing history merit behind the set and amazing history merit to the game that is like embedded with this card's history, so it's a huge collector's card in my personal opinion. Starting market price is gonna be about 40 bones for pretty much any condition. First lightly played first edition is gonna be 64. And then the first near mint copy is going to be about 89. We'll switch over to bulk prices. There's a single bulk price of a 4 stack for 100 bones a pop from core TCG for near mint first edition. Elemental Hero Stratos is going to be next. Now, I'm aware that there is a Starlight rare. I personally don't really like Starlight rares, but I will say that the Starlight rare specifically for some cards like Stratos does look aesthetically pleasing. It's pretty great, but I would take the OTS Tournament Pack 9 Ultimate Rare over the Starlight Rare any day, even though it's more affordable and it's kind of a little bit more abundant on the market. By far, I'm always going to treat this Ultimate Rare, OTS Ultimate Rare, higher in regards to aesthetics and collectability purposes, in my personal opinion, as opposed to the Starlight Rare that was released not too long ago. Both great looking cards, very sharp, but personal player preference, I just like the Ultimate Rare more. Starting market price for this Italiano one is going to be about 125 for lightly played, and then there's a near mint one here, apparently from Bunny's TCG for a little Phantom over 140. What I'm more curious for is like bulk prices, because I feel like if this is something you're going to collect, you're definitely going to want a minimum of a play set. Starting bulk price is going to be 150 for apparently near mints. And same with these European Deutsch ones, which look pretty nice too. And there's a couple, and then it goes to a bolsterous 3,000 price point at the bottom out here, which is comical. Chaos Dragon 11 Year is going to be next. Tournament Pack 12, OTS Tournament Pack 12. I personally like the Secret Rares a lot from, what was this set from? I can't remember actually. I can't remember what set. Maybe it was Fusion. That Fusion set, Soul Fusion. Maybe I believe it was Soul Fusion. Let me just check really quick, because that's gonna drive me crazy. Soul Fusion, I believe. Yeah, Soul Fusion. So original first editions, honestly, are really gorgeous. I like them a lot. Specifically for first editions. I'll check out bulk prices, because you definitely want to proc at least 3 of these. They're about $8 for these lightly played first editions, and they go to about 10 after that, then jump to about 12 and 15. So not too terrible. Of course, the Ultimate Rares are really gorgeous too. Personally, I honestly do prefer the secret rares just because they're lighter and it's more vivid and brighter and brings out the artwork, whereas the ultimate rares are a little bit dark, but it is great for collectability purposes, technically the highest rarity, hierarchy wise. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this really quick. So starting market price for this is going to be about 42 bones for lightly played, and then 44 for near mint, and there's a stack of 4 there. So a couple of stacks available, 4 pages of availability. Again, it's completely up to you guys. It's an all around just amazing card. The sheer fact that it's a level 8, it's a dark, it can be busted out just like any other chaos monster. It's a 3k beater, it's a dragon, it has amazing artwork, and then it comes in both ultimate rare and original first secret. Is really phenomenal. Invocation is going to be next, so OTS Tournament Pack 6. What can I say about Invoked? Invoked is just kind of like Shaddoll. It's very splashable. It's always going to be around. It's always a fan favorite. There's always going to be players that pick this deck up and want to play it regardless of the format. And it's a very diverse deck. It's a very much plug and play, and it's a very fun deck to pilot. So it's always going to be a thing. It's always going to be around. And being that this is the highest rarity as the ultimate rares. Now personally, I like the original first edition secrets myself, which we can take a peek into those price points shortly, but the ultimates are completely gorgeous, I can't deny it. They also carry quite a fat price tag. Starting market price for these for lightly played is going to be about 84, near mint is going to be 86. These are all onesie stacks. There's 3 pages of availability. If we switch over to bulk prices, starting market price for bulk prices is a near mint stack of 4 here for 100 bones, which honestly isn't too terrible given the merit and history of this card. This has always been a dominating deck, and there's just such an illustrious history of like victory and just good times and just player based love and energy behind this card. So granted, it's not cheap, but it's also not super over expensive either. Like I could definitely see this busting that 100 bone market price for bulk prices for the highest rare of the ultimate rares. So there was 2 secret rare variants, the original Fusion Enforcers and then Battles of Legends. But again, that's just the thing, like even though the ultimate rares do look completely gorgeous, I think that the secret rares look almost as aesthetically pleasing as the ultimates. And if we switch over to first edition bulk prices of the original OG very first print, they're like 10 bones. And there's several near mint first edition copies here for 10 bones. It's just it runs parallel with the ultimate, and I personally, like, this is just insane. Like personally, I'm gonna pick up a copy of this. If you guys don't pick up a copy of this, because I just have supers right now personally, just for playability purposes, but for like some form of like collectability purposes, just having this to like look nice in a binder as far as like collectability for high rarity, this is insane. I'm very surprised that it's this affordable, and I think for 10 bones for first edition near mints originals, this is incredible. So I highly recommend you guys nab some of those at your earliest convenience. Construct is going to be next, so the original ultimate rares from Duelist Alliance. This, just like Invoked, have endless amounts of player fodder and fan bases, and there's just so much love towards these decks with good reason. These decks are fun to play, relatively easy to pilot depending on how you build them, and they're just like generation decks. They're just always going to be around. Any kind of condition of this, starting market price is going to be about 35, 36. There's a lightly played here for 55. And there's several pages of availability, but what I'm curious for is the bulk prices. Starting market price for bulk prices is a fat stack of 5 here for 75. Now, this is pretty pricey, but granted, the history merit behind this card, one, it's completely just gorgeous. Ultimate rare fusions just like really blow out, and this is, again, I like the alternative art. So the alternative art that came out in the actual Shaddoll Showdown structure deck, I do like that more than this. But again, this is the original print, this is the highest rarity, so this is where all the collectability is going to go. Tragodia is going to be next. This card has like a million different effects, and they're all pretty cold. This is one of the older ultimate rares, donning on a Turbo Pack Booster 4, so it definitely has some age to it. And this just looks completely gorgeous. I love like the maroon, dark red, and like the Everstone gray, and it just, the coloring and the tone of this card just comes out and just pops very well. I do like the Shonen Jump Ultras. There's a Shonen Jump Ultra. I think that was actually, I think, the original print, if I'm not mistaken, that we ever got here in the TCG. But you can't deny the beauty of the Ultimate Rares, and being that they're so old now, they are going for fetching quite a good price point. There's a Spanish one here for 100, French one, good old Frenchie. I love how they use Demon. It's pretty cool instead of Fiend, which are going anywhere to about 100 plus. And then there are a lot of foreign ones here. It looks like maybe the first English ones, if these are English, for Lightly Played 115. There's a stack of 2 here. And let's see if there's any bulk prices available. So there's a single bulk price of 4, which goes to a whopping 532 bones. So what a substantial price increase for bulk prices. They're never going to get this price point. This is insane. But they kind of got a corner on the market because a lot of people obviously don't have bulk prices of this listed, but this is just obscene. Levier the Sea Dragon is going to be next. So another great Generation Force card, has amazing illustrious history merit to it. Just completely gorgeous artwork. Very deeply embedded ultimate rare foiling. It's a water card, so it just, there's like, this card pretty much has everything. I mean, it's resisted through like the stands of time. There's obviously been fluctuation in its playability, but all in all, I think through all the formats and all the generations, I think this card still stands tall. It still holds up great capabilities in the game state, and is always going to be a card that you can proc depending on the situation, and is just going to have just everything: aesthetics, rarity, collectability, artwork, and playability, and competitiveness. And there's just so much great things that's going with this card. Sorry, market price for Lightly Played First Edition Ultimate Rares. There's an Italiano one here if you guys are into some Euro prints for 73, and then it goes to about 75 for the other Lightly Playeds. 6 pages availability. We'll switch over to bulk prices. There is a 4-stack here for Near Mint First Edition for 85, or 84, and then 85. So not too terrible. Again, I definitely see this card breaking the 100 bone mark for bulk prices. I'm surprised it hasn't already, especially for Near Mint First Editions as Ultimate Rares. Again, there's so many amazing things that this card has going for it. Pot of Grady is going to be next. Duelist Pack Kaiba. So the most infamous ban draw card of all time, and its highest rarity of Ultimate Rare. I do like the first edition Secret Rares from Legendary Collections. I do like the Dark Beginnings, I believe it was, Super Rares, and the original Magic stamped Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon Set 1 Generation 1 first edition rares. But all in all, this definitely takes the majority of the cake, being the obscenely gorgeous rarity of Ultimate Rare, and from a really history-packed set like Duelist Pack Kaiba is just incredible. Insane markability for collectors within this card. That's cool. It says Atticus. That's, if you guys know what the Atticus company is, and the band that actually is about to go back on tour next year and release a new single, a new album, all that. If you guys are part of that generation, like, you guys know what it's all about. Okay, so Lightly Played First Editions are going to be about 126, and they trickle up after that. There's 3 pages of availability, and then if we switch over to prices, there's a Lonely Frenchie here, stack of 4 for Near Mint, which actually look pretty cool. I'll admit, out of all, I love how they say Carte Magi. That's so cool. I just realized that that's kind of how they write that. Out of all the European prints, I think French is probably the hardest. I think they don't produce as much as Italiano and Deutsch, and Spanish cards and all that stuff. So all in all, I think these are the hardest to find. Not everyone, I mean, it goes without saying, at least American players, we want Euro English. That's like the ideal one because it looks gorgeous, and then also we can play with it. We can play with these too, but technically, you know, carrying translations is a little troublesome. So Lightning Chidori is going to be next. Now, this card has really really cold artwork. It looks amazing. It's kind of hard to see in this picture because it came out really dark, but I think for what it is, I think this is a really underrated card. It's seen play ups and down, obviously, naturally, with different win builds and rising to predominance, but this being an old school ultimate rare donning on a Cosmo Blazer, and not a generic rank 4, but wind is not super popular, but when it is, this is definitely gonna be like a go-to pick for the extra deck for wind players. Starting market price for this, for ultimate rares while they played first edition, is gonna be around 19 bones. That's gonna trickle up to about 20 plus after that. We'll switch over to bulk prices just to gauge. It looks like there's a stack of 3 here for 25 for near mint, and then it goes up to about 34 plus for that other stack. Now there is some also available on the eBay platform, which just bought out TCG Player, word on the street, so I'm not really sure how these coincide, but staying true to history and merit, eBay prices are a little bit more pricier than TCG Player. I don't really know how much longer that's going to last, but if you guys are curious, that's kind of a little insight on that. And of course, there are the ultra rares. Do you get them as opposed to the ultimate rares? Of course not. Absolutely not. Do not be disgusting. Love yourself and get yourself a first edition ultimate rare. Alright, Vanity's Fiend is going to be next. The original ultimate rare donning out of the original set, Cyber Dark Impact. Now, there was an OTS ultimate rare, which I think honestly looks like dog. Doesn't look good compared to the original ultimate rares. Now granted, these are more pricier, harder to find, especially for nice condition, but I think it's worth your time to invest in the original first editions, especially seeing how this card always kind of tends to find its way back in the meta depending on the format, and it's just a completely amazing card and has great artwork, and it's a dark and it's a fiend, and it totally just rips on so many different decks. Starting market price for this is going to be about 44 bones for lightly played first editions. That's going to trickle up after that. 4 pages availability. We'll switch over to bulk prices. There is a fat stack of 5 here, again for the infamous crack of cards, card crack, and it's going to be about 80 bones for near mint first edition, and then it's going to go to about 84 plus after that. Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries is going to be next. So I will admit this does look super clean. Here's kind of a more detailed picture of it on the eBays. Super clean. Love the purple hollow foiling, kind of like the gray ash approach. Really embroidered on the border of the card for the hollow foiling, which looks really, really, really cold. I love it. It does make me curious though. Because these are, I mean, about 50 bones. I mean, there's a 2 stack here from God knows who for, you know, and then it's got this, you know, fat shipping, so it's not really more affordable. Card crack once again really sealing the deal with a playset here for 55. Will it go down? Will it go up? I think when the set goes into circulation more and more people have access to these ultimate rares, I think it will initially go down, and then over time, being that is a hand trap, being that is just amazing collectability purposes, and it's a ghost girl and has amazing artwork, and the opportunity to come in and out of format and see competitive play will drive this card up in the long run. So if you guys want to buy it now, if you guys want to wait, it's completely up to you guys. But what my question is, what are the original OG Shining Victories first edition secret rares looking like now that we have this ultimate rare? Specifically for lightly played near mint bulk prices, because this card is gorgeous, and now granted it's no ultimate rare. It doesn't look like this. I mean, this does look really good, but if you look at this, you can't say that this is an ugly looking card. This is a very sharp looking card, and this is the original secret rare variant dotting out of Shining Victories. This is like relatively good age now. I think this was a 2016 set. I believe I was in South Korea at the time when it came out. It's kind of how I help remind myself the age of these sets. And there are a couple stacks here for roughly around 10 bones, and that jumps to 20, which, you know, that's quite a price jump. But again, if you're looking at the ultimate rares being 55 plus with a potential to go up, also a potential to go down, like I said, I think it'll go down before it goes up. I don't know, that's a really tough decision. Personally, I have several of the original first edition secrets myself. Really do want ultimate rares too. I definitely see myself proccing a playset eventually, but I would not discredit the original secrets. Abyss Dweller is going to be next. This is a special pick that I want to highlight for this video. This is like one of the best, most amazing generic rank 4s of all time. This card rips on so many different graveyard based decks, and graveyard has become just an infinite resource for the game state and kind of like the direction that the game has been going for several years now. This has amazing artwork, again, another just gorgeous water card, and I don't really know what else to say about this, but besides, get at least one copy. I promise you will not regret getting a single copy of this. Ideally a playset. Right now, personally myself, pretty sure I only have one copy myself that I picked up in a trade. I would love to get at least 2 more. Kind of got into the chase to grab 2 more of these because this is just such an amazing card. Sorry, market price is kind of all over the place here. It's gonna be about 69. There's a couple for 69, and then it goes to 70. And about 71. These are all onesie stacks on the first page. 6 pages availability, so I'm curious for bulk prices. Bulk prices are pretty much the same thing, interesting enough, if this is a real thing. 70 bones for a fat stack of 5 near mint. Here's a Deutsch European one. And then it goes to about 73. So honestly, there's a Frenchie. Oh, that looks cool. Almost looks like Resident Evil. Resident Des Abyssus. That's really cool. I'm so excited for Resident Evil 4 Remake, if you guys can't tell. Anyway, yes, this is an amazing card. Yes, of course, there's the original first edition supers, which are like dirt cheap from Rising Abyss. There's also the mirrored first edition secrets from the Secret Forces, but the original ones are just so affordable. Like that makes me really curious. You know, I always kind of skim through this every once in a while, just to take a look at what specifically bulk prices are for first edition original supers. Even though it is lowly super, it's just an amazing card, and it is the OG print. Apparently there is no bulk prices for the OG print, which is a sad day in Mudsville. A couple dollars, but yeah, an ultimate rare. Nothing's gonna come close to the ultimate rare. The last card I have to showcase for you guys tonight is going to be Constellar Pallades. Now, this card is actually something I've come to take to note because currently I'm running an Outledge variant, and this card has amazing artwork, and 2, it's dual terminal 7 ultra rare, which just looks gorgeous. Again, like DT, Duelist Saga, Shonen Jump, Gen 1 first edition ultra rares just look completely, they look good. And this card is no stranger to that, and the sheer fact that this can bounce a card and it's a quick effect, it's a light, you know, light and dark always have, you know, the most dominance in the game as far as competitive play. In my personal opinion, I think the majority of you would agree with that. We got this Atticus again. Starting market pricing about 32-ish plus bones. There's a stack of 3 here for 33, another 3 for 33.30, a lot of 3s. 2 pages availability. Now, I'm not saying you need to have 3 of these. It would be nice to have one just for collectability purposes. Since it's an extra deck card, if I had the DT variant, I'd probably run it because, you know, it's not really being played outside of your extra deck for the most part. But I would not discredit the original print Hidden Arsenal 7 Knight of Stars secret rare specifically for the first edition. These actually look very, very clean. I personally run 1 to 2 of these depending on my build, for my Outledge build, depending on how I make it. And these, though, unfortunately, there's only one single playset here for about 8 bones, first edition lightly played. And there's this rape shipping here, so just be aware of that. But other than that, it's pretty much like 5 bones, 5 to 6-ish bones. There's a 2-stack right here for 6 for near first edition, so not a bad buy. This card is really, really good. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you've enjoyed this video, please share with someone that you believe will also enjoy this video. I hope you guys are making some fantastic Yu-Gi-Oh investments yourself. This has been a showcasing by The White Mexican, and I'll see you in the next video.